Dr. Naqvi, CGM Road Safety, other senior officers from National Highway Authority of India, MORTH, NHIDCL, various state governments participating with us in the validation program, members of the supporting organizations, our corporate colleagues and road safety enthusiasts, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Today I'll be presenting to you the Road Safety Action Plan, which we are preparing on behalf of the Government of India by taking all the various ministries who are involved with the road safety with us in this action program. I will briefly relate to you what this program is all about. Next slide. The road safety scenario globally is very dismal. 1.3 million people die year after year and 50 million get injured, many of whom live their lives with permanent disabilities. This costs the world $1.8 trillion. This is the loss to the global economy. Ladies and gentlemen, it is for consideration. This is more than the budget of 10 poor nations of the world, and we lose it year by year. Although this is a challenge which is a manageable one, unlike the pandemics. In India, 150,000 fatalities, 150,000 people die every year as are reported. Although the WHO reports that this figure is too low, the actual deaths are something in the region of 250,000. And 5 lakh people get injured, many of whom live their lives with permanent disabilities. This costs in India 3% of the country's GDP. It is high time that we try and save as many lives as we can, as this is a colossal loss to GDP. The road safety is a global concern. In 2010, in Moscow, global leaders from over 100 countries adopted the Decade of Action Plan 2010-2020, and this Decade of Action Plan, to which India was also a signatory, and I happen to be present on behalf of the International Road Federation as its chairman, the resolution proclaimed first stabilization and then reducing the number of road accident fatalities by 50% by the end of 2020. However, the world failed to achieve the target with the exception of few developed countries. In 2010, I assumed the office of Chairman IRF Geneva as its first non-European chairman. I have been working in 80 countries with special focus on Indian subcontinent and African continent. I have worked on a number of activities and initiatives. And I have been introspecting as to why results are not forthcoming. Why have we not been able to achieve the targets when we have been working so hard? And the answer that came to my mind is that we have not been working in a structured manner. We have been working in a non-structured manner and in silos. That is why we have not been able to achieve the results that we should have been able to achieve. The need is to simultaneously work on the 5E framework. What is this 5E framework? The 5E framework envisages that we work on all the 5 E's, which are engineering of roads, engineering of vehicles, education, enforcement, and emergency care at the same time on the same road segment, so that the net effect on that road segment can showcase the reduction in road accident and fatalities. I'm confident that once we work on all the 5 E's together, we will get the necessary results. We have framed the webinar, and the webinar series are titled as Road Safety Challenges in India and Preparation of an Action Plan. In this, we are going to have 12 webinars, and each webinar addresses an E. In fact, the first E has more than 6 webinars, and the recommendation of all these webinars will be collated and sent to respective ministries. The first E goes to the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, and from the collated recommendations, we will sit with them and finalize E1. Now, while we will go ahead and do that, it was also felt necessary that we work on the validation program, because saying that 5 E's will work alone will not suffice. So I thought we simultaneously, as we frame the road safety action plan, let us validate it. In this validation effort, we are working in 7 states, which has the highest number of accidents and fatalities. These states are Karnataka, Kerala, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, and Uttar Pradesh. These, in this program, we have the support of no less than the Honorable Minister Gadkari ji, to whom I am extremely indebted. He has taken upon himself to give me the requisite support to enable us to have the validation in place very quickly. He has written to the chief ministers to extend support to IRF India so that we can move in a very systematic and convenient way come up and complete our validation program. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the letter which I present to you, which has been written by Gadkari ji to the various chief ministers. In fact, this letter has been written by Gadkari ji to all the 7 state chief ministers. This is a copy which you are seeing here, which is written to the chief minister of Kerala. Slowly. He has written very clearly that indicate a road stretch of 100 to 150 kilometers, which is the worst affected in terms of accident fatalities in your states. And he has indicated that we will be working on all the E's on this road, and that based on this, he has requested them that they should help in this effort of validation and give all the cooperation and assistance to me and my team. I am indeed grateful to the Honorable Minister, and I am confident that with his continued support, we will be able to reduce road accident fatalities in India, working on all the 5 E's together within a period of 5 years, that is by the end of 2025, 31st December 2025, we would be able to reduce the road accident fatalities. However, I would need continued support of all of you in this mission. The annexures to this letter are worth seeing. He has mentioned that we should be working on education together. We have created syllabus from class 6 to class 10, and this is something which we have developed by removing the chapters of the existing books from the NCERT, rewriting those chapters so that when the child reads English, Hindi, mathematics, social studies, and science, any subject you read, the road safety will automatically get ingrained in your mind, in the child's mind. And these books are available on our website, which is www.indiairf.com. Besides this, we will also be working on the younger children, nursery to class 5, by forming road safety clubs in each school and identifying a few monitors which will be trained as trainers to carry forward the training activities in the school. In the enforcement area, we'll be working on the ATMS. We will also be training the police department in both in traffic management as well as how to collect the accident data. In emergency care, we will be plotting all the medical facilities available within 5 kilometers on either side of the highway, which will be mapped and we will come out with the deficiencies, then indicate how these hospitals should be augmented, and we'll also be taking first aid trauma care to training. We'll also be imparting first aid trauma care training to the bystanders on these roads. The IRF team is fully equipped to undertake this work, and I must convey my thanks to Dr. Mishra, MC Mishra, who was the first person to set up the trauma center, AIMS Trauma Center in Delhi, and later became the director at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences. He is with us in this task, and I am indeed grateful to him for helping us with this cause. The third thing which the Honorable Minister has written to all the states is that it is high time that you pass a Good Samaritan law in your state. Although the Supreme Court has given legislative stature to the Good Samaritan law, it being a concurrent subject, it is necessary that each state passes the law, as Supreme Court has no arms to enforce the law, which each state, when the state law exists, will be able to do much better. And that is why, on my request initially, a few states like Karnataka had agreed and come up with this legislation. So this legislation has been sent as an example to other to other chief ministers, so that they can work on this and have this enacted in their respective states. We have nominated coordinators in all these states, and and the states are also nominating their coordinators, who will work collectively together on the worst affected road stretch on all the 5 E's, so that we can have the necessary validation program completed between July 21 and November 21. Now coming to what we are going to do there. The first task is on engineering of roads. We will be carrying out road safety audit, and special care in this will be taken about interchanges, junction designs, road markings, and road furniture. All the road safety audit work will be done in accordance with the latest IRC codes and guidelines which have been created for the purpose. And then the special emphasis which I'm trying to do is on fog lights. We have no code here on fog lights at the moment, because fog lights are not really effectively deployed on our roads, which pass through fields, and fog is a big challenge and issue. I'm trying to do a worldwide search to find out the fog lights. In fact, I would encourage the government of India, the NHAI, to liaise with the IITs, and let's launch a program of research amongst our young engineers as to how to best handle the fog situation by providing low lights which can penetrate through the fog and provide necessary light to the traffic moving on the roads during the fog period. I'm also in touch with the other unique countries in America, as well as in Denmark, and in Boston at MIT. Some work is being done in this direction, and I'm hopeful that we will have some results coming soon so that we can install these particular lights. Another development which I find is very useful has come up in the smart light poles. Smart light poles are particularly very effective in sharp turns and hairpin bends. These have been successfully deployed on the NH1 in Jammu-Srinagar sector, and I must say that this is something which is a very good development. These poles wirelessly communicate with each other and exchange data on the incoming traffic. They gauge the speed of the vehicle and alert the driver of approaching traffic by sounding a horn. We should try to have these installed on all hairpin bends in the country. This would go a long way in saving the accidents and consequently the lives. Now moving to the next E, which is policy intervention, engineering of vehicles. As I mentioned earlier, it is necessary that good Samaritan law guidelines are adopted as a law, enacted as a law by various states. The other important thing is about the front underrun protection device, the side underrun protection device, and the rear underrun protection device. These are essentially needed to be there in all vehicles. Even the best of cars, BMW, Mercedes, if they go inside the truck, the person is not likely to survive. There's no way that he can survive. Crash will result in immediate death of the people occupying the car. Therefore, it is absolutely necessary that these underrun protections are provided. We have done so in the new vehicles which are coming by a rule under the CMVR, that is the Central Motor Vehicle Rules, have incorporated this requirement in the new vehicles they are putting it. But there is a very large number of vehicles flying on the roads which are of the older domain. Now those vehicles, it is necessary that we retrofit these so that these deaths can be avoided. And retrofitting is an absolutely necessary element. I have requested all the 7 state chief ministers and their nominees that they should they should advertise in their respective states that anybody coming in the state without this retrofitment will be penalized if you don't do it within a 15 days or a month's period. We will impound your vehicle, we will fit them, and we will charge you double the charge of the fee, including the impounding charges. And it is therefore in your own interest that you provide these and get connected. The second part, which is equally important, is the conspicuity through retroreflective tapes. Ladies and gentlemen, the commercial vehicles, whether they are trucks, the buses, they are unable to be seen at night in case the reflective tapes, which are mandatory requirement, are not fitted on all the 3 sides, front, side, and rear of these vehicles. There are stipulated sizes of these tapes. The front should be white, the side will be yellow or orange, and the back is red. Now these are not being fitted, and unfortunately the transport officers who examine these vehicles and give them the fitment do not take adequate care in this regard. And therefore, I have also requested the state government that they must advise people that if you are coming to our state, please ensure that you have these reflective tapes fitted on your vehicles, commercial vehicles, and if they are not fitted within a certain period of time, we will impound your vehicles, get them fixed, and will charge you double the charge what it would have cost you otherwise, plus the impounding charges. So if you don't behave, the government will make you behave. And that is the lesson which we have to pass on to each one of them, because without that, we will not be able to bring in road safety. Now, there is no law at the moment about the tractors and trolleys, and I have requested all these states, since it's a concurrent subject, that they should advise everyone to fix retroreflective tapes on these 2 also, as they are often used by the villagers and farmers to transport their farm produce to the mandis, and that when they use the same main road which is used by the rest of the traffic, and they are not seen particularly during the dark hours, and therefore the necessity of providing conspicuity tape on them. Yet another thought which struck my mind was that entry-level cars should be promoted. Tata's came out, you will all recollect, with a Nano. And currently, Maruti has come out with entry-level cars. We need to promote these cars so that more people can use a four-wheel drive instead of a two-wheel drive and can save lives. Now, for that purpose, there are two suggestions. One is that there should be no tax on these cars. The second is that the government should give interest-free loan to their employees, including the PSUs, so that they can buy these cars and pay in easy installments to the government, availing the interest-free loan, and they can graduate from the scooter to the car and save. That will help save the lives, and I think it is a worthwhile investment for the government to do, particularly when we will be able to save a percentage of our GDP, which we are losing today because of these deaths. The other part is the driving license needs to be linked with Aadhaar card. People are moving with 10 driving licenses, 6 driving licenses, and so on and so forth. And they don't care at all when they are fined or their driving license is impounded, because they can pull out another one and move on. And therefore, there is an urgent and inescapable requirement of linking these driving licenses with the Aadhaar card. And to do this, the best method is that we do a road safety training, road safety program of 1 hour for every license holder. And when you register for this program, you have to provide your Aadhaar card details as well as your driving license details. And at the end of your program of 1 hour, the data regarding your driving license and Aadhaar card will already be with the authorities. And that way, if we run such classes, say 8 classes in a day, we would have covered 400 license holders in one day in one class. And in the month, you can imagine, multiplied by 30, some 12,000 people. And if we run some 10,000 such courses in India or 15,000 such courses in India, in a 1 month itself, we will cover a very, very large population. To my mind, in 6 months' time, the entire country licenses can be covered with their Aadhaar card. And we will be able to get rid of this driving license menace, which is moving and causing a lot of damage around. The next part which I want to mention is about the first aid trauma care training, which needs to be provided to all drivers. Now, this is necessary because if you provide this training to them and the driver is a trained first aid trauma care driver, first he will be more careful driver. He would not like to be a part of an accident. And secondly, wherever an accident takes place, one of the trucks or bus is likely to pass, and that driver will be able to save the life by first attending to the accident victim and then transporting him to the nearest medical facility. The other aspect which I would like to recommend is that the drivers of these vehicles must carry picture of family members on their dashboard. This has been successfully tried by one of the state road transport organizations in South, and it has brought out excellent results. I strongly recommend that this should be made a part of the motor vehicle rules, and it should be compulsorily imposed. Now, gentlemen, moving to the next E, let's see to the mandatory features. We need to have the fitment of proper side and rear reflectors function of top lights and number plate lights. We need to, as I said earlier, retrofitting about the FUPD and RUPD and SUPD. It is also necessary to have the retrofitting of safety belts in passenger cars and buses. This would help to save lives. The other thing which is very important is anti-lock braking system, the ABS. Now, ABS is already coming in the new vehicles which are there, new two-wheelers, but it is not there in a very, very large population of two-wheelers in the country. And therefore, there is an urgent need for retrofitment of these. I would strongly urge the government to invest in this area so that all vehicles, all two-wheeler vehicles, within a stipulated time of, say, 6 to 9 months can get retrofitted with ABS. This would need investment, it would need a hard decision, and I am sure our two-wheeler industry would be willing to come forward with additional investment, provided the government helps them to do that, because it is not going to be a profit-making effort at all. It's going to be just an investment to save human lives, and therefore government must come forward with the investment in this regard. The other thing which I strongly recommend in the vehicles, it should be the alcohol which should be provided, which is a device in the ignition. If you want to start your vehicle, you have to exhale into the ignition, and if you have the content of alcohol more than the permissible limit, the vehicle will not start. And that is why it is necessary to provide alcohol so that we can avoid and check the drunken driving to a large extent. Another area, ladies and gentlemen, is the enforcement on wearing of helmets. There are innumerable deaths. In fact, 30% deaths are of the two-wheeler drivers. And a very large percentage of this can be saved if they were wearing helmets. How to sensitize these people to wear helmets? One of my suggestions is to put on petrol pumps a board indicating statistics that out of the 100 deaths on road accidents of the two-wheeler drivers, 70 were not wearing helmets, and 69 out of them died in the accident. On the other side, 30 were wearing helmets, only 2 died, 28 got injured, but their lives were saved. Now, with such a statistics on the board, at the petrol pump where he's refueling his motorcycle, will help ingrain in his mind the necessity of wearing the helmets. The second aspect is, let's use the Bollywood. Let's have a very smart young actress who is liked by the younger generation to come forward and say, I love those who wear helmets. And you will find a lot of people start wearing helmets. Similarly, have a handsome young artist from Bollywood to say again, I love those who wear helmets. And you will find a lot of ladies, the young girls start wearing helmets. These are certain things which we need to take care of post haste and get this across, and I'm sure we will be able to reduce road accident and fatalities of the two-wheeler drivers. Enforcement on wearing of seat belts. Now this is something again very necessary, because a number of people die because they are not wearing seat belts. And now, of course, I find in Delhi, the wearing of seat belt is being checked quite regularly, but this needs to be checked across the country, and we should be able to have an alarm system in the vehicle, even if, which is there now in the front seat drivers, if he is not wearing, or the front the side person, but not for the rear. It should also be added for the rear. If one of the person sitting in the back is not wearing the seat belt, there should be alarm in the vehicle which should remind that one of you is not wearing it, and it will force the person concerned sitting at the back to wear it. Restriction on bald tires. Now this is also very necessary. If you have your tires are bad and you're driving the car at reasonable speed, you're likely to cause accidents. You not only cause accidents, these accidents not only harm you, the driver of that car, but also others. And therefore it is necessary that there is restriction on this. Now moving to the next E, which is the education. We, as I mentioned earlier, have brought out the school curriculum, class 6 to class 10, and this needs to be introduced in all schools. Rajasthan has done it. Other states need to do it also. And I'm sure when we start our education webinar, we will have the education minister and the education secretary involved with us. And once the recommendations of all this goes to them and we sit and finalize it with them, we will be able to move on this in a much faster manner. Mass awareness is another very important part. It is like, you have been having the anti-tobacco campaign run by the government in various cinema halls. We need to have such mass awareness run for road safety as well, because more people die because of road safety than by consuming, than by cancer. And by cancer, of course, it is, I don't undermine the deaths because of cancer and what wrong it does, but road safety is an equally important aspect. That is the point that I'm trying to make. And therefore, it must also be treated and worked upon in the same manner. Now, to create mass awareness, we have created road safety anthems in all Indian languages, which we propose should be run in the schools as a part of the prayer. It should be run in all functions before any government function starts, before any function in an educational institution starts. This anthem should be played on the railway networks. It should be played in the metro network, and wherever possible as an anthem which should be able to change the very psyche of the person listening to it repeatedly. And these anthems have been prepared in all Indian languages, and now I'm working on preparing them on a global platform. And World Bank has liked this anthem and told me to provide for them the road safety anthem in all languages in this world which are commonly used. So it is now being prepared in German, French, English, and Spanish, and all the languages, all the popular languages of the world, it is being developed. I will play for you this anthem in Hindi for 1 minute. Kindly listen carefully to this anthem.
सड़कों पे सावधानी पहली प्राथमिकता है, नियम का पालन करना है भैया, नहीं करनी है मनमानी, गुस्सा नहीं करना, मुस्कान फैलानी है। दाएं देखो बाएं देखो फिर दाएं देख के पार करो, पैदल सड़क पे जो हो हेडफोन न यूज करो, थोड़ी सी लापरवाही जीवन भर का है रोना, चौकन्ना रह कर ही चमकाओगे हर कोना, सड़कों पे सावधानी पहली प्राथमिकता है।
This was the road safety anthem, which has been prepared in 3 different notions, one for 2 minutes, 1 minute, and 30 seconds. This was the 1-minute anthem which we just heard, and this has been prepared in all Indian languages, and I'm going to share it with all states to run it in their own networks, both on television and on their radio networks. We have also created a lot of road safety films, and these I wish and request that these should be screened regularly before screening of commercial films in the cinema halls. We are in consultation, we are now talking to the Information and Broadcasting Ministry in this regard, and I am confident that this will happen in the near future. Enforcement, now advanced traffic management system. What has been happening hitherto was that this was being driven by the vendor. We have some cameras installed in some states, but they are all vendor driven. But when I say vendor driven, it is the manufacturer company which comes forward, establishes its credentials with the local staff, and provides this at a sizable cost, and then there is no maintenance of it. They go away. When you look for various parts, you don't get the parts, and the system dies its death. So what is the answer? The answer is that we provide our own specifications for the advanced traffic management system and direct all vendors to comply to those standards. I must compliment the NHAI who have developed this and who are now using this as a mechanism to provide it on the roadway system. The method they are following is that this ATMS vendors are asked to provide it for a period of 5 years in which they are supposed to maintain it, in which they are supposed to to provide comprehensive maintenance and ensure the serviceability. And the payments are made on a monthly basis for the 5-year duration. This ensures the quality of ATMS system is working efficiently, and the vendor knows very well that if in a particular month the serviceability is lower, he will not get paid for that particular month, and therefore he tries to ensure that it happens. Now, this is a very good mechanism, and I am trying to work further on this, because if we have to cover the entire country, we will not be able to afford to work on this system by our own payments. And I'm in consultation with various vendors who manufacture this globally to come forward and offer to the state government that they would meet the ATMS standard as have been prescribed by the NHAI, but they would like to have the system, the government's permission to run it for a period of 15 to 20 years, and they will not charge anything monthly. They will be paid the fines which are collected from the erring drivers, and these fines, because they cannot be collected by anybody outsider, they will be collected by the government and paid to the vendor as maintenance of the system. In this manner, we will be able to cover the entire country on a fast mode by using the PPP in an amended method of ATMS. The other thing which we need to do is train the policemen in traffic management. And this exercise I propose to get done at least for these 7 states and the roads that we are now working on for validation purposes. These staff will be trained in traffic management at the IRTE, the institute run by Mr. Rohit Baluja, where he is doing a human service by training all the IPS officers of this country who are passing out, essentially spend a day of training at his institute. And he is also doing it for various states. I in fact salute his effort of training that he has created from his own money without any support from any government agency. As far as training in accident data collection is concerned, this training we will be imparting free of cost from IRF to all the people, to the police department of the 7 states, particularly those in those police stations which are abutting the roads and within the 2 kilometer radius, and we will be providing them the training and the application, the software. However, the hardware part will have to be purchased by the state government, which means the Android tablets on which they will be collecting the data will have to be bought by them, but training will be free of charge. And they will also have to pay for the server space in which this data will get collected. Now coming to the last E, which is the emergency care. We will inventorize the hospital and medical facilities within 5 kilometers of the center line of the roadway network. And after the inventorization, we'll come up with a gap analysis as to what is required to upgrade the facilities, what more needs to be done in terms of equipment and manpower in these places so that they are in a position to help the accident victim in the hour of need. This is as far as the hospital is concerned. But what we will do from our side, the IRF team, will be that we will identify all willing, able-bodied persons on either side of the roadway and train them in first aid trauma care. The idea is to train at least 5 people in every 5 kilometers, at least 1 person in every kilometer, so that when an accident takes place, one of them can come forward quickly, help the accident victim during the golden hour, and help to transport him to the nearest medical facility, which will already be mapped and available with him in this exercise. In this way, we will cover all the 5 E's, and I am confident that after covering all the 5 E's on these 5 roads, we will be able to showcase to all of you that the road accident fatalities are totally reduced, drastically reduced when you work on all the 5 E's on any road system. And that is how we will be able to get the validation program in place. Now let me share with you our supporters and partners. Our partners in this are Government of India, the Nodal Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. As I mentioned to you, Gadkari Sahab's support is, I can't describe it in words, it's absolutely fantastic. And I must say that their support from the ministry is to the hilt in facilitating various coordinating efforts with all the stakeholders. I would also like to thank here Mr. Gupta, who is the Additional Secretary, Government of India in the Ministry of Transport, and who is the officer in charge for road safety in the Ministry of Transport. The state government for appointing the nodal officers and identifying the worst affected road stretches in their respective states, and they are helping us in this validation exercise. My salutations to them and my grateful thanks to them as well. I would also like to specially thank the National Highway Authority of India for extending logistic supports to the IRF teams as well as assistance in coordination with the state authorities. Thank you, Naqvi Saab. We are indeed grateful to you and your team and to the entire NHAI. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the corporates for extending funding support from their CSRs. I would like to thank the IRF coordinators for their seamless coordination with the state governments. Mind you, many of them are government serving officers, and they are finding time, taking out time and coordinating the efforts. It really means a big help, and the zeal and enthusiasm to work for this cause. It is the cause which is driving them all, and I am thankful to all of them. I am also thankful to the IRF Secretariat for working relentlessly with me to realize the vision. I would like to thank the supporting organization, the FIA, the IRF Geneva Center, the IRF, and many other organizations, the Prince Michael's Foundation. They are all helping us and synergizing energy and cooperation in this effort. I would also like to thank the media for disseminating information and progress across the country and creating awareness. In this way, I would like to thank each one of you, and I request you to kindly come forward in whatever way you can help this cause. At least follow the rules of the road. Let your colleagues do it, let your family do it, and try and help as much as you can. Thank you. Jai Hind. Thank you, Nakvi Saab. कोई बोल रहा है? There are some question answers. I would like to ask the person to raise his question. What is this? Sham Sundar Khandelwal Saab.
Kindly share presentation copy to all present participants.
Certainly, we will share the copy of this presentation. You have seen the presentation is more in bullet points, and whatever I have spoken has also been, we have the video of this. We will put it on our website and you can download it from there. Any other question? Thank you. Thanks everyone. Jai Hind.